If you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're out there trying to figure this whole online thing out, I'm guaranteeing you, you're doing it all wrong. You're probably giving way too much away. And in this episode, Rob and I go back and forth and discuss how do we go out there and make our names known, build our brands without just giving away the farm. That's something that you have to worry about, especially given that there's so much AI and there's so much stuff out there. How do you gate your little community and you gate the products and services that you offer so that those things show value and not just like some commoditized piece of information that they can get anywhere? We dive deep into it inside of this episode. We invite you in to listen. If you're brand new here, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We are on fire. We want this thing going nuts because we deliver value every single time. And if you reach it to the end, I guarantee you, you will pick up gold nuggets that you hadn't even thought about. ChatGPT ain't thinking about that. Claude, they're not thinking about that. Perplexity is not thinking about that. We put it in the episode and we spread it throughout so that you don't just get overwhelmed, but you can actually hear us and talk about some things and pick up some things that you can do tomorrow. Go ahead. We invite you into the episode and we'll see you on the other side. This business podcast, the Two Business Guys Mastermind, uncovers for you secrets and share tips and tricks to entrepreneurship as they mastermind on how to have startup, operational, and overall business success so that you can go on to get better results. Enjoy. So I said, Rob, what if I did this? If I said, I'm going to do 30 days, I'm going to offer it differently. So I have all the tools that I can drip the content. And that was it. That was the unlock. And one of the things that I think we could be of great value to helping people today was something we talked about a little bit before. It's like selling the shovels instead of digging for gold.
Exactly.
Selling the shovels.
Yeah, be in the store.
Because I was about to give the gold away. I was going to say, hey, here's the gold. Come to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I says, well, wait a minute. In this ability to put it out every single day. And I told Linda, I says, I'll change shirts and seem like I'm showing up every day to a different thing. But I can do 30 episodes in one
Huh?
day
Exactly.
and then sell the how to, the shovels, the shovels, the shovels, the shovels, the shovels. That was the
Yep.
unlock. And that's what I decided to
That's it.
do.
That's so profound because there's so many entrepreneurs that run into that barrier. Even me run into that barrier of, well, how am I going to be like, how am I going to be there all the time? Because it takes up your time when you have to be in a place for an hour, all the rest of that type of stuff. But if you can pre-record stuff, if you can preset stuff, it's not less value, right? It's or let me say it this way: it's not that it's not valuable, right? But it also lets people know that like live view requires a different, like you got to come differently.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
when you came up with this, like, because I know you've done videos, you've been like you run everything that we do with this podcast, and you got your own channels and all the rest of this type of stuff. But like when you started thinking about how you would do that, what did it unlock for you as far as possibilities?
It's something that we've talked. Well, I've talked about it on some of my other channels. The repurpose moment, right? There is, and I've got so much material that I can go, oh, I could just plug that in because this is what I was talking about. And I can give that extra and give that more there. And it happened to have come at a time I had to push it back, the event back a couple days because my computer went kaput. The new one wasn't cooperating. I had to take that back to the store and get a refund. So I had a
Mm,
series of things, and that's where people were like, "Hey, when is this thing happening? I'm chomping at the bit. When is it?" And then
mhm.
it got to the point where I was saying, "Hey, well, what do you think I should charge for this? Just kind of, leave me alone."
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh." I'd pay $50 for that. And I wasn't even going to charge 50. Just saying. So I was
Mm.
like, hmm. And then people kept coming back, oh, I got one friend who's just like, she's hard on everything. And she was like, between 35 and 50. So I'm like, hmm.
There you go.
So
And a
so I
lot of
started
people don't
get
pay attention to that slight difference. The difference between 35 and $50 seems like it's only 15, but over 10 sales, it's 200.
correct. Yeah. That's why I think the approach that, and I want everybody else to hear this, guys, listen to what we're saying here on this particular one. When we start thinking about how we sell the thing we're selling, right? Or selling the shovels and, Beats giving them all the gold. I keep hearing that people see my stuff and they go, "Oh my gosh, you're just teaching like crazy." In other words, I'm giving all the gold away.
Mhm.
And I'm getting information that says, "Stop teaching. Stop teaching. Start selling the shovels." Say, "Hey, the gold's over there. You
Hmm.
you want to get to it?" And people go,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
you're
well,
gonna need a
yeah.
shovel. Right.
Well, you're going to
Yeah,
need this
because
shovel." And this is
right,
some
you're gonna
Perry
need a
Belcher
shovel.
stuff. He
Yeah,
says,
yeah, no,
"Sell
this
the
is really
shovel,
important.
sell
Yeah.
the map." And he says, "Now
Hmm.
when they say, 'Hey, could you come with us?' Now that's you." So
Hmm. And
that
then
is
you get
in
the
essence
coach. Yeah,
our ladder. The value,
yeah,
what Russell Brunson
yeah. The
talks about,
value
the
prop.
value ladder. What
Yep.
Alex Hermosi just delivered, a value ladder.
Hmm.
Hey, come on
Hmm.
into this thing for free. Y'all know how I get down. I've been giving away all this free stuff for years and
Hmm.
years. But
Hmm.
what for
Yeah.
me, I knew myself enough to know that I just can't shut my mouth. I can't not
Hmm.
give
Hmm.
you a lot. So somebody on a
Hmm.
live would have been asking me a question and I would have said,
And you would have
"Oh,
went
well,
into
let's do
Yep.
this." I'd have gave it
Yep.
away, got him off the ladder.
And that's important to know. Like, I think it's important to know as an entrepreneur, right? When you're giving away valuable stuff and what you're giving away that's valuable. Real quick for everybody that was watching and doing the math. Yes, I know 35 to 15 is $15 times 10 is 150, not 200, but I had another number in my head because I was thinking 30. But anyway, um, as we go forward, uh, the piece that I think is important for you, you know, and for everybody to take away from this, because we've all been, if you've been in business long enough, you've been in situations where you know you're giving away stuff. But most of us don't calculate what the difference is to just get something for that rather than nothing. Like Peter Thiel talks about the going from 0 to 1,
Mhm.
right? And going from 0 to 1 is oftentimes the hardest thing for people to do, for organizations to do. And it's similarly in entrepreneur thought, right? Some of the hardest things to do is to just start charging $1, $2, $5, $10 for something that we normally give away free
Mhm.
because we're
Mhm.
so used to trying to get the kind of the validation that the thing that we have is valuable that it feels weird to try to charge for it. And what has helped me in that space has always been like charging a little bit of money. Even if you can just charge $1 for something that you would normally give away free,
Mhm. Mhm.
it changes the relationship of the person that you're interacting with because
Yep.
now you're training them to get used to paying you for stuff.
Absolutely. And the great thing about that, as I see it, and you say this a lot too. You'll say, "Hey, well, get your dollar, then get your $10, then get your $100, then get your thousand." Right? So that kind of approach. But when
Yeah.
I pre-validate, one of the tips, y'all, when you're listening to how I did this particular thing, I did multiple steps in validation. A, do anybody want it? People kept saying, "Man, I can't wait for that thing."
Mm-hmm.
That's validation point number one, right? So you go, "Oh, okay, cool." Then you start thinking about, well, what should I charge for this? You know your value is a certain thing, but sometimes
Mm-hmm.
that could be a shock depending on where you are, right? If I'm in,
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, I'm in, California, I'm in one of these places like that who are used to paying for higher prices, Atlanta, stuff like that. That's one thing. But if you're in, Grand Rapids, Michigan, well,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we all are trying to like watch those pennies, right? Especially when we don't see the outcome until we go through the thing, right? So
Yeah.
so in this particular case, and I hit Rob up when it comes to stuff like this because he's not gonna play. he's going to say, well, like he did off air. He was like, well, tell me this, tell me this, tell me this. And then we came to basically the same conclusion because I says,
Hmm.
I didn't feel comfortable delivering it a particular way. And this is what I want to tell everybody out there. Stop giving it all away. And Rob says, hey, just ask for $1. And sometimes I do that
Hmm.
with my, hey, buy me a coffee. I do it over at my Patreon that says, hey, look, here's some tiers. You want to come in at the
Hmm.
$5 level? This is what was happening. You want to come in at the $19.83 level? Blah, blah, blah. Here's what happened. Oh,
Hmm.
$4.83. And then if you want to come in at the higher levels, here's what's happening.
Yeah.
So I'll offer that. And sometimes people still need to see what you're working with. Say, hey, bro, show me what you. So that led to another revelation, Rob. And that was me going, well, I did it earlier with another product and it was like, oh, it went crazy. So I started off, or I'm starting off, and I got 17. All I got is 17. It's all done, but I'm gonna give 17 slides,
Hmm.
17 points of here's what you
Hmm.
can create, here's how you can create it.
Hmm.
17 of them. Because I was literally looking at them and I thought,
Yeah.
hey, where are the rest of them at? And they were in another file. Only 17 of them showed up, but they were some good ones.
Right.
I says, well, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give 17 of them. Then I'm say, hey, you want to go to the
And
next ones?
it's
This
so
that
funny
might be my
too.
ad. I
It's
might
so
do that
funny
as an
too
ad.
as you talk about this because like you say it, and I love watching you do it because I learned this from you. The whole repurposing of content and realizing that stuff that you made 5 years ago, 10 years ago can be relevant
Yes.
now. I know for me, I always struggle. I was just talking to my coach about this week that part of what I'm trying to do, I'm intentionally putting time in my calendar to kind of slow down and look back. I was
Slow
like,
down, look back.
right, like because it's football season now, um, and right, my Bears are doing what they traditionally do year after year. They're getting better, but it's just like I don't know what's going on. But one of the things that I noticed that they
They
do,
look
if
pretty
you watch,
good, but got
yeah,
52
they
dropped on them. Just saying.
exactly right. It was like, the first drive, we look amazing,
I
and
was
then
like,
after
dang,
that,
they
it's
look
like,
good. Who's this Williams guy?
right, and then it's like, oh, the second half of the game, that's where we just fall apart. But one of the big things that I notice about football, so they go and they play the game either Sunday or Monday or whatever.
Hmm.
The next day is a film study day where
Hmm.
they go back and they watch their performance and they critique the performance. They figure out what could have went well, what went well, what went poorly, what could have gone better, how you could do it, all the rest of that. And I realized that I was, as an entrepreneur, right, always the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, tomorrow, 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 tomorrow. And there's a lot of stuff that I just wind up leaving, right? And you talked about this before, like sawdust, right? The whole concept of
It's all
sawdust in
that's
the
a
sawmill,
business. Yeah.
right? And so what I've started to do now is I have a half a day set aside every 2 weeks where the whole purpose of that time is to look back over the
Uh,
last 2 weeks and say, okay, what's worked, what's went well, what are we doing? Who do I need to contact? Who do I need to get back in touch with? Because that's one of the areas where I'm trying to grow and trying to get better at. I have a system that kind of will help me to get back in touch with people and follow up, but it's for me, it was never as robust as it needed to be. It was like perfunctory, right? Like I'm never gonna not follow up with somebody, but I don't necessarily give it the energy that it needs because again, I'm thinking about the future. And if it wasn't anything that I needed to do, then sometimes it goes out of my mind. I love the fact that you go back and like I've always watched, you got your cards and you got your books and you got the things, and then you'll go back and review stuff that you've learned or stuff that you've ideas that you've put out or all the rest of that type of stuff. I just feel like that's something again for the audience, if you don't have that habit in place of reviewing, that's definitely something that you want to put into place when you're thinking about
yep.
the things that people are doing where they're not having to work as hard as you have to work. I feel like, as I've gotten, you know how it is with business, you go through different levels. And when I get to another level and I get into different rooms and I look around and I'm like, wow, they're not working anywhere near as hard as I'm working. And it's like Oh, that's because they're repurposing and using stuff that they did instead of being like, well, it was good once, but I got to go do it again, right? It's the same thing with recurring revenue versus one-time revenue, right? If you can sell something once and get paid for 3 years, think about how much more money you make than the person that has to sell that thing over and over and over again over the 3 years.
Yes. Yes. That's the beauty of the repurposing moments. I'll give you an example. I'm literally looking at a slideshow that I put together from a transcript of an old show. So I used some new school tools to I took a look back at something that I had. And what got me in this, I was teaching it in a class and I was going through the class and I was pulling something up and I saw something in there and I was like, oh shoot, I forgot about that. What did I ever do with that? I'm looking around like, did I create something? So then I put it in. I was over in using Notebook LM for this particular thing and just showing some people some stuff that they hadn't seen before. I was
Mhm,
surprised. What do you mean you haven't seen this? It's been out for a while, but well. And then I showed them
mhm,
how to use something and I saw this old thing and I thought with the new tools that I got available to me, I was able to create three distinct pieces of content from something that was old that now I can say, hey, yeah, AI, refresh this for me to today's whatever.
mhm,
And then I says, from that, create this checklist. Boom. Then I says, hey, dig deep. There's a particular prompt that I use. I'll say go across industries. Now I want y'all, hopefully y'all taking notes. This should be a note take time. Cross industries, across niches and business models, and pull from this old material, match it up with a new whatever, and now
mhm,
let's create something totally unique.
mhm.
Content, old content, now made new, using new stuff, new inputs, and the tools are the thing that I'm just going, hey, now watch me do it. So I got the receipts. Here you go. Here, I'm doing it. I'm right on screen. You see
Mhm.
me. Then I'm gonna
Mhm.
say, here's the tool. So that is
Yeah.
pointing it to the tool. Now the goal is to say, let me show you. Hey, let me show you.
Mhm.
I get all happy. Oh, I want to show you this. But
Mhm.
now I go, you want to learn how to do it yourself? And they go, well, yeah.
Just go
You
grab
want
your
to do
stuff.
it yourself? Yeah. Yeah, send it to me. Okay. Then I swoop back. How's it going?
There it is.
Did
Yep.
you get through it? No, I started. And I'm telling you, Rob, I'm starting to get run on and make it a couple of bucks from just helping people get this, helping people implement what their LLM told them, what their AI
That's it.
told them.
That's it. There is something profound. And again, this is that patience quotient that we were talking about before, right? Right. And I was at a conference this past weekend that talked about this, and it was a Warren Buffett quote, and I'm probably gonna butcher it, but it basically went like this: money goes from impatient people to patient people, right?
Mm,
Like money goes to the people that are patient enough to wait for it. It goes out of the hands of impatient people into the hands of patient people, something to that effect. But it was basically talking about like if you're patient enough to play the market the way that you're supposed to play the market, to buy and sell real estate, whatever it is, if you're patient enough to do what you're supposed to do, the people who are impatient will be the ones that are literally giving you their money when it's
mm,
time,
that's
right?
good.
And
Sell to
what you
the
were just
impatient.
yeah, and it's not even so much that you're going to sell like it's not exploitative, it's not preying on, it's just understanding the cycle of things. If right, because Warren Buffett always talks about it, right? When people are greedy, be cautious. When people are cautious, be
Hmm.
greedy, right?
Hmm.
Like understanding that the vast majority of the people that you're dealing with don't have the patience to wait until that stock price is at the right price to buy. So they're going to buy at all different prices, and then when something happens that forces it back down to the price where you should buy it. All the people who bought it at the wrong price are the people that are selling. And when it gets back down to that price to buy, those people will have gotten out of the market of that stock or whatever the case may be. They're not paying attention anymore. And that's why the patient person goes and then buys it, then it goes back up and they sell it to those people that are impatient and want to
Yeah.
ride the ride up.
Yeah.
And then they buy it when it's low, right? But the reason I was talking about that though is because what you just talked about, and I've seen this so much in business recently. Like it's just been, reticular activating system. I'm seeing it
Hmm.
more and more and more because I know it's important to me now. There's a life cycle of people with problems, and it normally goes like this. First, people need to get information about the problem, they need to understand the problem.
Hmm.
You can give them something that helps them understand the problem more. What most people try to do is then sell them the solution, but they're not ready for the solution yet. What they're ready for is to know that there is a solution. And so they need information about a solution. And again, patient people can meet them where they are, sell them what they need
Hmm.
for right now,
Hmm.
and not try to force them to the solution. Whereas everybody else is like, you want to get married? No. You want to get married? No. You want to get married? No. Right? Like it's that constant thing, getting married on the first date that our friend Chris Mathis always talks about, right? But the patient entrepreneur knows where they are, has something for where they are, and is like, hey, I know exactly where you are. And then does the thing that you just talked about, circles back because I know that once you have information about a solution, what's the next problem you're going to face? Implementing the solution. So now when I come back and I'm like, hey, you've been trying to do it yourself. How's that been going? Because I know what the numbers are on people that are able to do it themselves. I know that the likelihood that I'm going to call somebody back and they've actually implemented themselves is actually very low.
That part. Yep. Yep.
But now, when I'm calling you back after I've left you alone because you said you wanted to implement it yourself, now when I'm calling you back, I am someone that you are happy to hear from because you were isolated in your failure until I called back and said, hey, would this be helpful? That's what you're doing. But that requires patience. That requires knowing you're going to get to this point and then it's going to be awesome when I come and say, would you like me to help you? And then I'm only going to help you this much and then I'm going to go away. And then you're going to spoil and struggle and everything else. Because, right, if people are convinced that they want to do it themselves, there's a reason that they're convinced that they want to do it themselves.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of times it has to do with pride. A lot of times it has to do with ego, even with us, right? I've
I know.
been,
I
we,
know. I know. I
now you
suffer
are at
from
the
it.
space where you're like, yes, I want a team. I want people. But it was years of us going back and forth about it before you came to the group, or you was like, wait a minute, my time is best served doing this stuff. I can have AI, I can have this person, I can have that person do this stuff. But people have to go through whatever they have to go through. But the beauty of it is, and what you were just talking about is being patient enough and more importantly, circling back. That
It
part right there is the thing that most people don't do.
it's becoming everything now for me, especially. I teach this stuff in email marketing. And I'll leave a link to my email marketing course. And this is an awareness. Hey, why is email marketing important? So I'm gonna leave a link
Mm-hmm.
to why email marketing is important and what
Mm-hmm.
you can do to leverage it. That's one thing. Now, here's something that I think you'll appreciate because I'm like, when I see something very popular and I'm like, oh, that's like a bunch of wildebeest getting ready to go over the cliff. Everybody's doing it, everybody's using it. And I'm like, I ain't using it just because everybody's
Right.
using it.
Everybody's running that way. Right.
Right. So I'm zigging and everybody's at whatever. So, but then I eventually come around.
Mm-hmm.
I eventually come around and I'll give you an example, a very big one. So there's a tool out there that everybody's been talking about. I remember the tool. I tried the tool when it first came out. It was still buggy. It was like, this thing is terrible, right? And they were selling it at a particular tier. And you could also sell it because anything that costs me, I want to be able to say if I love it, I want to be able to sell it. Okay, so it had all
Mm-hmm.
the good stuff, 40%, of affiliate, all these kind of things. And then they got some money. And next
Mm-hmm.
thing I know, I'm seeing all kind of commercials. And Randy, I can't. They're in my emails. Randy, I can't believe it. You're not in yet. And then another commercial like you're eventually going to go to it. Every business needs one. And then I was
Mm-hmm.
like, so because I remember being in it and the learning curve was high, it was all these different things that you couldn't do, and it was like, that's kind of that page don't look great. But then I saw one, okay, I saw one particular tool, and I did the math on it. I was like, well, no other tool allows me to do just that one thing that's inherent in this tool,
Mm-hmm.
and it costs $29 a month. So
Mm-hmm.
then I says, well, I got this other thing I'm using, and it's $50 a month. All right, this AI camera, and it's $50 a month. So I said, so I started doing a couple of piece of math, and I says, huh. And I'm about to get this other tool, and it's already in this thing. A little SMS
Mm-hmm.
opportunity. I says, wait a minute. I'm gonna start taking on some clients now against what I like to do. And I says, it's already got a CRM built in.
Mm-hmm.
I did the math, and I says, well, its entry amount, I can get rid of all these. So now it's on my radar. And I'm already looking at another tool that's about to get axed. So now I'll be
Mm-hmm.
ahead. I says, if I use this instead of that, then a
That's
tool
it.
that I got my virtual assistant, that's all she does is works that. So I said,
Mm-hmm.
shoot, she could be over here working this tool and be sending out stuff for me and text messages and all. She could be doing
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
my tool don't have that. So
Leverage.
I'm like, now I'm going to use it. So again, what these people were doing was what? Selling the shovel, selling the shovel, selling the shovel. I got to go
That's
get
it.
the gold, but they were selling the how to, the why this matters.
Yeah.
And it finally dawned on me. It
Mm-hmm.
is in that follow up. I kept them on my email. They kept sending me different kind of emails,
Mm-hmm.
and now they've worn me down.
That's
It's
it.
like
And
top of mind equals top of wallet.
top of mind. And I think something that a lot of people don't understand, and I didn't understand this a lot either, because I was like, I don't want to bug people. I don't want them to be annoyed with seeing my name and all the rest is the one thing that I've noticed just from looking at the way that I do my emails. There are people that I'm on their email list that I only read emails that have something to do with what I'm dealing with, but I will read their email because
Hmm.
I trust their voice, even if everything they talking about right now ain't got nothing to do with me.
Hmm. Hmm.
And again, the ability to be patient. I
Oh,
remember this
it's
maybe
so
4 or
good.
5 years ago. I learned this, right? If you're in a room full of 100 people that have the problem that you solve, on any given day, only three of them are going to be ready to buy the solution that you have to solve it. And what that requires is your ability to say, at any given day, it's going to be a different three. And so if I can make sure that on whatever day they're thinking about the thing I'm in front of them, then that's cool. But what does that mean? That means that every day you get 97 rejections.
Mm,
But you have to be patient enough to go through the 97 to get to the three, because if you can sell three a day,
that part. It it dawned on me using some search tools. I still use some search tools. Google still has relevance with regard to search right now because a lot of the AIs are pulling from Google search anyway, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And so I see this one item that I was looking up, and it's getting about in the United States, it was getting about 290 searches a month. And at first I was like, man, I want something that's getting 2,900. And then it dawned on me, wait a minute, 290, if I can, and it was low competition. It was maybe under 20.
mm-hmm.
That's my people. If I can get them that 290, you can eat off of, you don't have to get all of them either. You can eat off of
Exactly.
10%.
10%, right?
29 of them
29 people.
buying your thing. Remember, especially if you got the value ladder, as Russell Brunson talks about, here's where you come in at, here's where you can go to. Oh, you want me? Well, that's a lot. But
That's a
by that
lot, right?
time, they're going, yes. Now here's why I said I'm all in on that, man. I was listening to this podcast, and these guys, it was like the last shoe to drop that made me go, yep, I need to do this. So these guys says they build out 6 months of follow-up into their
Mm-hmm.
automated system. Now, again,
Mm-hmm.
I teach email marketing. I talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Most people quit after, and you say it a lot. Most people quit after so
Mm-hmm.
long, but they
Yep.
build it right in
Mm-hmm.
to the system. Now,
Yep.
that's made me go, all right, in order for me to do it, and I want to share this with everybody that's listening, sometimes we have to start back here and go forward. What do I want? Right. So then, and we got, you got all the, I got tools that I can show you, leaving it in the description field, tools that I use that allow you to build out that once a week for 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
two a day. That's 50. You can sit down and have AI help you draft a
Yeah. The
progressive
whole sequence.
80-20, 80% talking, telling, and 20% selling. You can have AI do that. Before we had to like hand do that and we had to make sure everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now we just have AI. Hey, give me 26
Mm-hmm.
that progressively, that only sells 70. You know the stuff that I sell, boom. And it can then put it in there. You put it in your automation system. And now you have built for anybody that comes in. Now, this is the patience part. But oftentimes, what we'll do is we'll start building out the stuff first. First, I build out my landing page, and then I build out this. Then I build out. By the time I get to the automation, I'm tired, and I'm going,
Yep.
ah. But if I
Yep.
say, what do I want it to eventually happen? Well, sit
That's
somewhere in
it.
that 6 months out. So build. Let's build that first. I
That's it.
literally do it like that, man.
Reverse
Now,
engineer. Same thing, same way. I look at customer journey before I ever look at top of funnel. And
cause oh, that's good.
it's
You look
important.
at customer journey
Hmm.
before you look at the funnel. Okay, good.
Yep, before I look at the funnel, because at the end of the day, I have to be very clear on what am I trying to, what's the experience, what's the relationship experience that I want to take them on once they raise their hand and say, I want something from you. And we have, it gets difficult sometimes because you're moving, you're constantly doing stuff, and so top of funnel is easy because it's just the thing that I'm doing next, but there's no cohesiveness to it. That's the one thing that I found. Like we got good, especially once I started speaking a lot and once we started being in front of people. I got good at the first 12 weeks or the first 6 weeks after somebody interacted with us. And what I've learned is like, again, it's got to be patient. It's got to be, this person might not buy something from me for a year.
Mm,
How do I make sure that we stay in front of them, that we stay relevant, that we stay connected to them so that a year from now, when they buy something from us, they're excited. And one of the cool things that I'm starting to see with the things that I do is that we're able to maintain that relational status with people a lot more. But it's because we're intentional, right? And I'm self-professed. I'm horrible at kind of follow up
yeah, you
and
said that
right.
before.
Like I was, and I'm changing my language because I'm endeavoring to be better. So I used to be
Get
horrible
better and
at
better.
follow up and all the rest of it. I'm on the pathway to being better, but just so that everybody understands, right? Up until very recently, I was horrible at following up and doing that. And right, that goes all the way back to me being a kid. When I was younger, keeping in touch with people and calling people. I remember when I went to college, my mom was like, "You need to call every week," and that lasted for about 3 weeks. And then after that, it was like, "Sorry, I'll call you back if you call me, but if you don't call me, I'm like, no news is good news. Everything was good, right? Like that was how I lived because I was always in the moment doing the
Hmm.
thing."
Hmm.
And as a business owner, right, we know these statistics: 80% of sales happen after the
Yeah,
fourth interaction,
yeah. I'm terrible. I was terrible at it too. So
right?
yeah,
And so one of the things that it's intentional. This is where the well, I was telling you the half a day where I'm looking back, looking at my game film, looking at my interactions, seeing what who do I need to be following up with, what needs to be. Because here's the funniest thing: I'm great at connecting people. When I meet people, I remember what they do, and I have forever been the person that's like, oh, you need to meet so and so because they do this, you do that. That's gonna be awesome. I've always done that.
And people love the fact that I'm able to do that. And what also happens is people remember those things, but I never call people back and be like, hey, what's going on? Hey,
Mhm.
just wanted to see if you needed anything, whatever the case may be. That was just something I was never really good at before. But now I'm intentionally just calling people up. And what happens is the relationships maintain. Even if I call and there's nothing this time, it's just another drop in the bucket, in the
Yeah.
relational bucket.
Yeah.
Eventually, something is going to happen. And so, like now, I have my clients that send me referrals. I have people that send because of the fact that I'm constantly connected to them.
It's it's so, and then when again, when you actually find these folks, you don't still have to give them the gold. You can still sell them the shovel. I did that the other
Mm-hmm.
day, got a client who I saw at some kind of networking event, and then I said, how's the business going?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And she says, it's all right, it's steady. And I
Mm-hmm.
says, are you wanting to grow? So I'm just kind of,
Mm-hmm.
you probably
Mm-hmm.
understand where I'm going with the questions. Did you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
grow
yeah.
it? If a
Uh-huh.
person says, man, I can't handle what I got right now, stop talking.
Yep.
But then they says, well, yeah. And then they let it be known. I says, well, who's helping you?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm trying to determine, do you want some help? Without saying, do you want some help? Because most people won't,
Exactly.
oh man, I
Right.
don't want to admit
Because you
that
don't want
my
to offer
business.
people stuff that they don't need.
She's like,
It's
yeah,
very
because it's
insensitive to
just
offer
me.
people things that they don't need.
Say it again.
It's very insensitive to offer people things
That's
that they
right.
don't need.
It's like they didn't even tell you that need. And I says, hey, you want some help? And they were like, yeah. So they made a meeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
I made a
Mm-hmm.
meeting for me to help them because I'm already thinking what I already do. Now I have the opportunity, and this is what sells them every time. Then I'll have the opportunity to create something for them before I even get to them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I've gone, and take a look at their website and says, so I just had them send me that. Hey, send me your website. Da, da, da. So I took a look at it and I see gaps. See
Mm-hmm.
stuff that where you can help with what they need the most. They just need more visitors, they need more visibility, some areas that they want to go into, but it's just them working it and they don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I would come in and says, well, here's some things you can use, shovel.
Yep. And here's the profound piece about that, right? And this is the most counterintuitive piece to it. A lot of people have no idea how valuable it is to have somebody to help you shovel until they shovel by themselves.
Mm, that's good, man.
And they can't shovel by themselves until they get a shovel.
This goes back to I'm a child, 7 years old, or I don't know, maybe I was 11. I sell this homeowner on me shoveling their snow, and it was big. And it was like some cheap money. I didn't know what I was doing. It was so bad. I'm out there shoveling. I'm young. My arms ain't developed. I couldn't finish. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know how to. And then the sister, or no, one of her daughters came out and helped me shovel the snow. So to your point,
Mm-hmm.
somebody
Yeah.
and literally helping me
Yeah.
shovel
Yeah. Was
was, I
something that you
never
were
forgot that.
thankful for. Right. And the funniest thing about it is if she'd have asked you, do you want me to help at the beginning? You'd be like, no, I'm good. I got it.
And it was rough, bro. I was
Yeah.
like, I
But
was over my head.
right,
I was over
right.
my
And
head.
that's the whole thing. And a lot of our clients, and this is where patience comes in. When I look at somebody, I know that they can't do what they want to get done. But I also know that they don't think that it's worth what I charge for. Instead of arguing with them, you give them what they need so they can see how much value you bring to it. Whatever you give them this little bit, oh, you think you can do it on your own? My friend, go ahead, have fun, right?
I
Because
like
I
that.
know that in a month or two, I'm gonna call you back and you're gonna have encountered all the problems that you didn't know existed with that thing.
Yeah.
You're even
That's
going to
funny.
encounter some of the ones that I warned you about when I gave you the shovel. All right, so when you get this shovel, make sure, right, that you keep it oiled up, because otherwise it'll get in that salt and in that water, and then it'll start to rust, and then you're gonna have to buy another shovel, right? And of course, they're not going to listen. They're not going to do it. And so then they wind up coming back to you for another shovel. And when they come back to you for another shovel, you sell them the other shovel, but you're like,
Now you're
would
gonna
you
have to
like
buy
that?
two shovels.
Would you like that maintenance plan? Like we talked about, the one that I told you about before, because like we got the same thing, or you got it. Oh, no, yeah, let me get that maintenance plan. That'll definitely work. Cause that way, right now they know how valuable the maintenance plan is. Before they was like, maintenance plan, what I need a maintenance plan for?
Yeah, it's incredible. So that becomes again, and I didn't understand this when I was a new up and coming entrepreneur
Mm-hmm.
about when you solve a problem, you create another one. So
And it's
I give
nothing
you the
that you have to do
shovel,
it's
I
nothing you have
solve
to
your
do
problem.
intellectually. It's natural that that's the case.
Yeah, I solve your problem. I give you a shovel to go dig somewhere. And then you go, well, where do I go dig? And you go, "Oh, would you like a map?" And then they go, well, yeah, man. And then before they may realize, I can't read no map. We
Or they go
we
try and then they
Linda and
come
I,
back.
we were in Thailand and we were looking for stuff to do. So I'm online looking for things to do. And I pick a thing, go see the temples, etc., etc. And in the bottom right hand corner, would you like a guide? And I said, yeah. Because I just in my soul says, bro, I don't know how to drive these roads. I would have been driving on the wrong side of the road. It would have been a bad
Mm-hmm.
deal, right? Oh, we just rent a
Mm-hmm.
car. Got the guy, and get this. When we paid the guy, no, they paid him. I'm getting ready to tip him. And I'm thinking, what's the big deal? Because he showed us around, he waited, he took us to, and then he explains the tip that I was getting ready to give him was 3 times what they would have paid him.
Wow.
3 times. He was ecstatic. So there's nothing wrong with being the guide. When you create one
Exactly.
problem, listen to what we're saying here. And in the comments,
Mm-hmm.
if you got something to say and you believe, I don't believe it, right? Or whatever it is, instead of just
Yeah.
giving all here's the goal, here's the goal, here's the goal. Now I'm so big on let me show you why it's important,
Mm-hmm.
and then how to get there. And then once
Mm-hmm.
you get there, what to use. All these different things. So there's all these ladders, all these levels. Now, some people like, Rob and I, we might be able to take right off with it. And we go, well, I know enough to kind of, go do some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You might think,
Right.
right? We
That
still
part.
might get some YouTube instruction and, oh, that's how you
Oh,
do it.
definitely.
And then it
Definitely.
comes
And
in.
and trial and error and iteration and back and forth.
But what if a person said, oh, I got you as a part of so now that's what all my services, that's what I've been selling. Hey, here's the tool. Do you want me for the tech?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, right now I got a client and I taught his wife how to
Mm-hmm.
do the thing. The other day, hey, how's it going? Coming right back around. How's it going? I haven't noticed any of your stuff up, your sites and stuff like that, your landing pages. Oh, I haven't gotten to it. And I says, well, would you like to get on a Zoom call and I'll walk you through it again?
There
Yes.
you go.
Right.
Buy me a
And
coffee.
now you're buying the tech. I am your
Mm-hmm.
tech person. I'm going to help you with this. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
it's another way to say you're in my membership. And as a part of being in my membership, you can get it
Mm-hmm.
from the members or you can get it from me,
Yeah. And
right?
the coolest piece about it is we're not creating these problems for other people. These are problems that they are naturally going. One of my mentors used to say it this way: when you sell a service, think about everything else that they have to buy now that they have your service, right? Along the journey, along what they're doing, along their plan, what you want to look at is
exactly as they're moving and exactly what they're doing, you want to be able to say, for example, the one we used to always look at is a wedding, right? So if you are a wedding photographer,
Mhm.
right, you know where your service comes in the wedding, right? You know that there's some things that they need in order to have a good wedding before they get to you. As part of your service, as part of your protocol, you can be like, hey, do you have a caterer? Do you have a florist? Do you have an event planner? Do you have a venue? Right? Do you have somebody to do your stationery and your invitations? Right? All of these different things that they need. If they have it all, great. But if they don't, now that's value add services that you can refer to somebody else, but make a commission off of. And then you
I
look
got one of my
after.
clients that way right now. Where are you getting most of your stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting it from word of mouth. I says,
Mm-hmm.
double and triple down on that. And she said, what do you
Yeah.
mean? I says, offer an incentive. She says, well, I've tried that before. You heard that before. I've tried that before, and in certain cases, they won't take it. I says, well, don't offer it
Mm.
to them. I said, if they feel
Exactly.
like, I'm good, then you go,
Right.
okay, you're good. But the
Exactly.
next person may go, oh, I would love, I would love
That
to
part.
get that information and sell it like heck to them.
Exactly. It's just a simple request. Do you have this? Would it be beneficial? If they say no, no harm, no foul. But when they say yes, how amazing is it?
That's the part that is so interesting, especially when we start looking at how do we just give them enough. And that's what I started off talking about at the beginning of the hour, or at the beginning of the topic. It's all right. I'm a giver. I'm an over giver. I just, ugh. And then
Mhm.
that has the tendency of people are going, I got too much up here, bro. I can't even process all that.
That part.
Right. And that, but I'm teaching, and
Yeah.
stop teaching and just say, hey, here's the big one. Just show them
Hmm.
why it matters. Hey,
Yeah.
this is why do you, I'm the monetize your life guy. Why do you want to monetize your life?
And
It,
chunk it down
bro,
to the smallest bit. With the Gracies used to talk about this with when when I was learning becoming an instructor about how most people try to teach way too much in a move. And you got to remember that they're seeing this for the first time. So they have to build the container to put it in. They have to attach everything that you're teaching, all the rest of that. It's like you can teach so much less and it's so much more valuable than you realize. I remember so many, like when I first started doing the VIP day. I remember I told you about this, right? Like I was doing the VIP day, and one of the consistent things that people would say to me was, "Ooh, this was intense." Right? Like they were literally emotionally, physically drained at the end of the day because I was trying to give so much value in the session. So I was successful, but in being successful, I was making them feel like they never wanted to endure that again, right? And I had to learn to respect the level of value that is in the building blocks, basic building blocks. And I had a teacher, one of my mentors say it this way. They said, people need to be reminded much more than they need to be told. And we very rarely
that is
value
so good.
the reminder.
People need, so out there, you listening? What do you need to be reminded of? Sometimes same with me. Just like remember I says I had to be reminded, you got that piece of material that you could turn into like, 50 other different things.
Yes.
Reminded of stuff that you had
Yes.
to then do stuff that you want to do using some new tools.
Yes.
Oh, oh. So, and it's less offensive
Hmm.
when you remind, this is so apropos. But somebody said this once. They says, say this in your meetings a lot. Remember?
Hmm. Hmm.
Instead of, watch this. So instead of, y'all got it, or do you understand? Or what's the one that we say a lot and people are going shaking their head like, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Does that make sense? So of course it makes sense. But
Yeah.
then when you say, and this is, I think this is you may have told me this, NLP trick, remember?
Hmm.
Or
Hmm.
was it, I was doing some NLP stuff and it
Hmm.
says say
Yeah, it's an
remember a
embedded
lot.
command. Yeah.
Remember a time when,
Hmm.
think back to when you,
Hmm.
now what you're doing to people, instead of it being something new, is something that they just remember. I've been
Yep.
doing this a lot too. I've been saying, well, you never did this, but tell me a couple of areas that you were really good at doing. And they were like, oh man, I can do this. And I says, well, let me, and then I have this ability to say, this is like that.
To make the analogy. No, that's it. That's it.
This
That's what's
is
up.
like that. And then
Hmm.
they go, oh, now it's not foreign to them. Because
Yeah.
remember, in that selling, this is something I actually learned from you. In that selling
Hmm.
process, you'll get some of this. I can't do that.
Hmm.
First, they don't believe you, then they don't believe
Don't
themselves.
believe themselves. Right. Once you have done your job well and convinced them that you are amazing, now they don't believe that they can work with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you can help them remember a time, remember I got this new coaching member
Hmm.
who just got, she says, it's your fault, Randy. I said, in other words, it's your fault we about to make all this money or blow it. They just got this huge contract
Nice.
from a very reputable that they could just take on the reputation alone. So my job, what I told them, I says, take the job,
Hmm.
just take the job, say yes. And they were like, I
Hmm.
don't know if we're ready because they're doers, not
Hmm.
directors yet. They
Hmm.
still do
Hmm.
the. So I said, take the job. And then in class, we happened to be doing a particular kind of marketing where I,
Hmm.
had them do press release marketing. That was the first
Hmm.
class. Put a press release together for what you offer. First, I had them tell
Hmm.
me, why does your business matter?
Hmm.
Right now, that's not normal. People usually kind of soft shoe that part.
Hmm.
Tell me who you are, tell me your business, and tell me why it matters. And you
Hmm.
have to explain why it matters. And people in the
Hmm.
room have to kind of go, oh, I see it. But they have to
Hmm.
start because I'm getting them to a level of belief.
Hmm.
Then it was like, okay, we'll do a press release on it. This ain't mine. I borrowed that from some Jeff Bezos stuff, right?
Hmm.
So I says, so because now you can explain your business. And I says, now from
Hmm.
that press release, we're going to take that and we're going to plug it into, and this is a higher level marketing in an area that where we're going to be marketing because now you got, this is what my business does. This is what I said. This is what I believe. This is a press release if I put it out to the public. We use some AI to do it, blah, 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 right in class. Experiential. I'm not, no more thinking, let's do it.
Hmm. Yeah.
She got the job, this big contract, because in the middle of they said the big employer said, "Tell me why I should give it to you, not because it was just two people." She
Hmm.
says she excuses herself to the bathroom because she says she went blank, went blank, bro. Oh my gosh, because it was a big thing, bigger than
Hmm.
they ever got.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
literally become a business when they take this contract out. Goes to the bathroom, and looks at her press release because her and AI came together and said something
Hmm.
amazing. She goes in there, says that, and they says, "You got it."
Nice.
And by the way, would you like 8 other locations?
Wow.
So now she's in class, crying in class because she's like, "Right, I don't know what to do." I says, "Well, we're going to surround you with a board of advisors."
Yes. That's
A
so
board
powerful.
of advisors. I says, "Nah, it's not a board. I said, "But these are people
Yeah, these are
that can
advisors. Yeah.
advise you." I'll be. I think
Yeah.
maybe I'm gonna exclude myself because I've done my job. I said I have got you all fired up and got you into belief and gave you some. You got the job, so I'm like, "Rrr." But the other board of
Hmm.
advisors now come in and tell you how to now be a business owner, like Michael
Nice.
Gerber says, not the doer in the business, but a
Exactly.
business
Wow.
owner. That
And
that part right there, man.
that's where people got to get to. But that I think is, in wrapping up, I think
ultimately, if business owners can have patience, right, can look back and repurpose, and can realize the power of just reminding people and helping people to see what they don't see, right? Again, all three of those together are going to be a tremendous, tremendous benefit. And
Yeah.
that's where situations like the one that you had, where you walk them through what they needed in the moment, and then that thing led to another thing, and then she comes back to you like, okay, I need this help because I got this thing, and you're right there and able to do that as well. That's phenomenal, man.
Pull from this, everybody, when you're out there and you're saying to yourself, yeah, I don't quite know what to do here. Pull from what we just said. Pull out the
Mm-hmm.
principles and apply them to your business. Get back to
Mm-hmm.
us in the comment section. If you like this kind of material, we're going to be doing a lot more of it, just walking you through some very specific tips and tricks that you can do with your business. If you like it, pass it along. If you don't like it, say it in the comments. We take everything. But we'll see you on the next one.